Hello, this is Zachary Hausner, and this is my final project for MIS 607. Um, my project for this course was a machine learned assistant for a growing facility, medical marijuana growing facility here in Missouri. Um, the idea behind this, I had been working with some businesses in the past, creating some SOPs uh, for grow facilities in Missouri, and I wanted to use this opportunity to create this project for such an event of a company needing or wanting to look at an automated method to review their plants remotely. So this is kind of with that in mind. Um, So the first thing is that this system is going to be utilizing the inherent equipment that's required for a grow facility, um, either by the state or by businesses. Typically, businesses will have every room cornered off in a grow facility. They're going to boxed in. They'll have every room numbered. They'll also have security measures for every room, including a camera system. So part of this operation will be utilizing the inherent properties of a room and having additional properties in the room, such as a track for a camera to go up and down the line to check on different plants, and to kind of label each one. Every plant is required by law to have its own tracking assembly, tracking number, usually a QR code from the seed to sale process. So we'll be utilizing a lot of that equipment already, the infrastructure already in place for a grow facility. The idea for this is to assist the business to reduce costs and also to have better identification on the plant's requirements. There are specific needs for marijuana growing in Missouri. There's different ways that marijuana will view itself to be malnourished. So this machine learning learned program will be able to identify when the plant's being malnourished. Not only when it's been malnourished, but like how it's being malnourished. If it's not enough nutrients, what kind of nutrients are lacking. If it's not enough sunlight, with different spectrums of light. All that will be kind of tracked in that malnourishment standpoint. It'll also be looking for infections and diseases, and also be looking for the insects, the populations of an insect population within a grow room. Not all insects are bad, some insects are good. And then some insects are bad when they're no longer being treated to treat the bad insects. So it's all depending upon different scenarios that are going on in that room, or with that section of plants. So the business requirements is that the system needs to be able to identify malnourished plants, the insect populations per room, and potential diseases. We'd also want to be able to conduct some hypothesis testing, and just some new ideas of like how to increase the grow rates and quality of the plants by measuring different styles and judgments. Like for instance, we have increased nutrition in the room for a particular strain of plant. That will be taken into consideration. How is that plant tested against other plants, so on and so forth. And that's not so much the machine learning end, but that will be part of the system for sure. The idea behind this is to allow a single master grower to review a 300 square foot canopy area for growing facilities for the plants. The state of Missouri requires a license for every 100,000 square foot canopy, and up to 3 grow facilities within the state. So we want this to be we want this for one single master grower to be able to oversee that many different facilities. 3 facilities with 100,000 square foot capacity, and typically that's not unusual for a master grower to be able to review. The problem is when you have different sites for that. And interesting tad bit here. if you have like a farm where this is taking place, you actually have less area than your indoor grow for Missouri specifically. So this is a necessary need for unique business opportunity within Missouri. And the idea for the master grower is that when they come into the office every day, they are going to be highlighted for key areas of observation. They're going to be able to find different threats that are posing to the plants or to the strains themselves, and they'll be able to tell in close to real time when a plant is ready to transition from a clone state to a veg state to a flower state, and then for harvesting. That's what we're wanting to do, and how we're going to do this is through photographic evidence from the cameras running up and down, also from temperature readouts to know what's going on with a room, temperature-wise, barometric pressure-wise, to see like what kind of threats are happening. Like for instance, some threats can only happen from insects or from other diseases given certain conditions. So we use photographic evidence to kind of identify what's going on in comparison with the other environmental conditions that are taking place simultaneously. And so the photographic evidence we're looking for is going to be healthy plants, the coloration patterns for the different strains, their structural movements, how the plant's moving throughout the day, and how are the plants growing, what kind of structure are they growing into. And then photo assets of malnourished plants for specific strains that we're looking at, and how that coloration happens, and how that structural process works for unhealthy plants. Also, same for disease, and then same kind of situation for insects. And insects is going to be a little more complicated because we're also looking at the symbiotic insects, we're looking at the treatment type of insects, the parasitic insects, and also the neutral insects that don't do one thing or another for the plant. But we want to try to keep a healthy biome for each grow room. So we will have other insects in the room, incorporated in the room to help create that holistic growing environment. And also we're going to have some photo assets that will include the fungi and molds that are necessary for healthier grows for specific plants. And so, as I was saying before, kind of the user story behind this is that the master grower logs into their portal, and they're getting a readout of this grower is in this progress. Here are potential flags for that master grower. These are the plants that you need to look at. Here's a potential infestation over here. Double check that. And so that way the master grower can have a targeted work experience as opposed to going through each plant individually. The timeline for this, I think if things go really well, probably 10 weeks of actual training and the photo training for the machine learning system. But rule of thumb is that you double that because things happen or hiccups happen. So it's about 20 weeks. And then what we communicate to the clients can be double that. So we're looking at an actual 40-week delivery time that we want to communicate to the client. A happy client is going to see things done faster than what they originally thought or were quoted. So we want to make sure that we are close to that target, but also give us room for success, for outstanding success. My concerns for this whole thing is the costs involved to get the infrastructure up, because we're talking about robotic tracks to help move the camera around to get better pictures per each plant. We're talking about special kinds of cameras. They already have to have cameras in there, but we want to have color cameras. We want to have high resolution cameras, and all this needs to be set up to an Internet of Things, a fog network that will lead up to a cloud-based network. So there is some infrastructural costs. The other concern I'm having is security. Even though security isn't, we're not going to see any outside threats for the system. It's going to be a closed system. We may see some security threats as far as the feasibility of the data actually doing what it's supposed to do, because master growers aren't technicians, and we don't have businesses typically won't want to hire a full-time data analyst or coder to kind of help with this whole process. So we'll have to train a master grower to be more computer literate, or have an added cost of consultation fees. Anyways, that is kind of my idea for this project. Thank you for everything. I just want to say personally, thank you for teaching this course, and I really appreciated your comments throughout the course. And you mentioned something about the research that you're conducting. I don't know where it's at, but I was very interested in seeing some follow-up on that. Like when you completed your research, I'd like to see that research paper, if possible. Also, if you're free during this winter break, it would be great to meet up with you both in Kansas City. My email address is zachary.hausner@gmail.com, or phone number is 816-394-8157. Text me if you're available for meeting up. I'd like to talk to you about more getting into the industry, as this has been a move for me from finance into IT, and still haven't conducted that transition. So I really appreciate that, kind of folding this all together. So this is a post assignment thank you for everything you've done.